Hi, I'm Jeremy Stafford, Law Enforcement and Military Sales Manager for Mossberg Firearms. We're here today at Pro Gun Club with our friends at Vang Comp, and we're going to talk to you about the Thunderstick Summit Instructor Gun for 2023. With a Mossberg 590S, that's the short shell gun. I have a deep and abiding belief that the short shell is going to provide people with an extra tool to help in instruction. And Cody's going to talk about that in a second because it actually happened. And the other reason we chose this gun is because it's the first of our pump guns that's optic-ready. But it's not going to be the last of our guns that's optic-ready, if you know what I'm saying. So Cody?
Absolutely. Yeah, you were talking about a actual training aid in this. Had a first-time shotgun shooter here at the Thunderstick Summit. She was curious if it was beginner-friendly, this training event, a whole bunch of different trainers in one spot. And we said, come on out. And we got some stuff we can teach you on from soup to nuts. So we started with this 590S. Those short shells that we have, this Kickies recoil pad, the Vang Comp system with porting, they all combine to make just essentially like an action trainer.
Yeah.
The shorter shells, they got such low recoil impulse that you can just get familiar with running the gun. You know, how to load it, how to shoot it, how to administratively unload it. So it was just a great little experience, and it really did. Before the event happened, we got together and we're like, how do we build this gun that the instructors can take and just, you know, teach classes how to use it and learn and teach with it. So the S was what we decided on, and having the integral optic mount on here was great too, because that's just easy, sort of a point and click sort of thing.
Yeah, so. I mean, you're reducing one less step in the instruction process. It's a dot. Put the dot where you want the pattern to go or the slug to go, and then worry about the rest of the fundamentals.
For sure.
So yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about the alignment of different things on the gun. Yeah. So that takes it out of the equation, so then you can just focus on running the gun. So, and that's what we do. Mossberg 590S, short shell compatible. Obviously got the recoil pad from Kickies. We got the Magpul SGA buttstock, so it's adjustable for length of pull and cheek height, so that way everything's as comfortable as it can be.
It's modular. So what a lot of people don't understand when you're talking about a fighting shotgun is your results downrange are, unless you're at a very high threshold, your results downrange are going to be dependent on how that gun fits you. So when you can add modularity like this, SGA, the Kickies, things like that, that gun's going to be able to fit you, and you're going to be able to get those results that you want to see downrange.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we see that same thing. So speaking of downrange, Holosun, this is a K footprint optic cut, so we just direct mount Holosun 407K on here. Next thing we do, we got the safety switch. It's a big speed safety from Vang Comp. It's made of metal. It's easy to activate. We like that a lot.
More surface area. For
sure. And then our detachable side ammo carriers on here. This is a Velcro sticker on top of a metal plate and held on with the bolts. We replaced the trigger pin and the ejector screw.
Now, the bolt that you use to hold this plate on has actually got like a shoulder on it. So a big problem that a lot of people don't realize is they'll get an aftermarket or a cheap gun show version of this, and they'll start cranking down on that bolt, and you're starting to squeeze the receiver.
Right.
You're going to bind the action. You're going to give yourself problems. So that's an ingenious solution. And it comes from a place of, this is a fighting shotgun, not a hobby shotgun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we cut our teeth at training events like this, seeing what works and what doesn't, and what the instructors need to, you know, bring people home safe. So, yeah, detachable side ammo carrier on there. We've got our D-bird and D-horned loading ports on here, so every place that you touch, it's just a bit of a creature comfort. It doesn't make the gun shoot better, but it might make you shoot the gun better.
Better experience.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on from there, we got that Magpul MOE forend with the M-lock slots. So we got some rubber grip panels on here just for traction. But if an instructor wanted to do a low light course or something like that, maybe he's got a person with a disability, put a different vertical grip on there to help that out too. It's super modular, so we love that. Finally, we finish it off with our +1 magazine extension, because with the short shells, it actually does add capacity. And it's got our sling mount on here, this QD sling plate that we have made for us by GG&G. This plate fits every tube extension we've made for the past 20 years.
Okay.
And it's held on with a really nice snap ring, so it makes it reversible, removable, and we got a 6 o'clock version too. So,
okay.
And of course, no shotgun would be a Vang Comp without the Vang Comp system on the barrel.
Yeah. People that are in combat shotguns, the name Vang Comp is synonymous with performance, but a lot of people don't understand. They hear words like backbore, forcing cone. They don't know what it is. Can you just break it down real simple?
So simply, yeah, there's a cone is a transition from a big circle to a smaller circle. So this chamber is a big circle. The bore of the shotgun is the rest of the barrel. That's a smaller circle. That transition is a cone. Typically it lasts over about half an inch, right about here where my finger is. So the shell goes in here. There's a cone about this angle. You want to show them? About that angle. So we take that and we stretch it out 4, 6, 7 inches sometimes. And that turns this angle into this angle. And what that does is it slowly squeezes the shot together. So that reduces the recoil impulse and reduces the pellet deformation, which translates to tighter patterns downrange and less recoil in your shoulder. And we keep that going with the back bore, so it's essentially oversizing. So we just make it bigger behind the existing exit of the gun, the choke, quote unquote. And then we do our ports right there where that pressure comes back. So the ports reduce that muzzle rise, reduce a bit more of the recoil, spread the muzzle flash over a larger surface area. So all of those reasons make this a better gun to teach and learn with, because you're going to have less of a recoil punishment. You got to pay that tax.
Yeah.
Not so much with this gun, especially with those short shells.
With combat buckshot, you're putting 9 projectiles into the target with 1 trigger press. Mm-hmm. That comes with a cost, and that cost is you're going to get a little bit more recoil. And it's not a negative with the gun. It's just something that you, the shooter, need to be aware of and need to train around. Mm-hmm. The shotgun is a demanding mistress, and you have to put in the time. Mm-hmm. So when we're talking about the Vang Comp shotgun, we want you guys to look at this as a system, right? So we start with that 590S. You're going to get optics platform. You're going to get reduced recoil. You're going to get the short shells. Then we add that SGA stock. It's going to fit better. Then we add that Kickies recoil pad. It's going to that transmittal of energy is going to be mitigated somewhat. And then finally we add the ports up front and the back boring and the forcing cone lengthening, and all that together makes for a shotgun that, man, it roars like a lion, but it also purrs like a kitty. And you guys did such a great job, and we are so proud to be part of this event and so proud to be part of this package. So
awesome. We're happy to have you. Yeah, thank you. We'll see you next year.
Oh yeah, we're going to be here next year for sure. Thanks.